Yellow. I have continued to get better as time has gone by. When my energy level gets back to normal, I will be back to normal. I'm getting there. It was a good day. The first thing is, for the first time in almost a week, I'll tell you what I did. I will show you what I did. I got back to my journaling, my one little thing, one little thing. Nope, I haven't lost my passion for this, my friends. And see, I got a long list. That's what happens when you kind of like vacated your life for the better part of a week. Lots of those things have those rectangular boxes next to them. The things you got to do, but you don't really want to do, but you got to do, but you don't really want to do. Yeah. But I crossed off quite a few of them today because what I did is I chose the things I could do seated. And that includes downloading, having purchased and downloaded a program for editing my videos because I've been getting advice from friends that the video quality I'm complaining about, it's because, not because of my camera, but because I work with a free software editor, which doesn't put things back out after I edit it in the high quality I put it in. And that, you know, you get what you pay for sometimes. Well, luckily, the one that came recommended to me by friends who know that I really don't need a lot of bells and whistles, Cyberlink video editing package, is on sale, 55% off of its full price, which I guess means that they're about to put out a new one. So I paid half, more than half off its price. So I can deal with that. Yeah, I begrudged every penny of it, my friends. You know that. So it's in the middle of downloading right now. That's why every now and then I'll look sideways because it's downloading. It is a bit of a memory hog, but I have a computer with lots of extra memory on it. I bought one that way. So it should be okay. So I started out the day journaling and got a lot of things done in those square boxes that I can do from sitting here. Phone calls and paperwork and budgeting and some organizing and that kind of thing. I still have, you don't think you can see it from here? No, because it's over here and you can only see maybe the little bit of an edge of it. Spice bottles. I worked on them a little bit more today. So I actually got stuff done. Gave myself a pedigree. A pedigree? I hate it when this happens. Pedicure. No, sometimes I never do figure out what I meant to say. The lupus fog. Lupus stupids, as I refer to it. Sometimes I say something and I know it's wrong and I can't figure out what I meant to say. Other times I say things I have no idea that I said them wrong. And if you love me, you'll joke with me about that. No, I didn't give myself a pedigree. Thank you. I am quite pedigreed already. I gave myself a pedicure. That's a sign of spring fever for me. Looking forward to when the clogs come off and the flip-flops go on and waiting to get rid of the winter feet. Give myself some tended to feet. I also think it was a self-care kind of nourishing, kind of want to spend some time on myself because I'm feeling kind of frumpy from being so sick. So I did that. I tidied up some things in the house, but couldn't actually do any real cleaning. But still, it was good, the amount of stuff I got done. And let's see. Then Roger and I went this afternoon out for, we call it dinner. You know how you have brunch, which is something between breakfast and lunch? Well, we do dinner a lot, which is a lunch dinner. Maybe there's another word for it, but we call it dinner. What it means is a lot of the buy one, get one free or highly discounted specials at the restaurants here are before 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Because in the wintertime, they're desperate for folks to come in at those times. So we headed out. And we got distracted because I decided I wanted to go someplace we did not have any coupons for. Yeah, you heard that right. A place I really like here called Craft and Crust. And it's an artisan wood-fired pizza place. Artisan pizzas. And craft beers. A lot on tap and a lot more in bottles. I have a picture here of what I got for starters, but kind of like for the meal. It is the most amazing salad. Although I don't even think they called it a salad. It was served room temperature. It could have been served hot or cold. I'm going to find the recipe online or something like it. It was Brussels sprouts that had been pan-seared. Little tiny cubes of squash, Granny Smith apples, celery, I don't know what kind of cheese. It was either, it wasn't a blue cheese. It was a feta or one of those slightly tangy, soft white cheeses, and pumpkin seeds with a balsamic vinaigrette. Food-gasm. If I had somebody who would come and live with me and cook this kind of thing, I would be a vegan. I've always said I'm not a vegan at this point in my life because I'm too lazy for all the work that goes into chopping and cutting and constantly going to the store for fresh vegetables. So I have said that about myself for a long time. I was a vegan for 10 years, and it certainly was time intensive. I'm not excusing myself to say I couldn't make the time for it. I'm actually married to somebody now who wouldn't go there, although he had the same thing, and he said he could eat more of that too. So I'm going to find the recipe because it's a great thing to take to potlucks. I'm going to say the drumming circle and church potlucks where we have a lot of vegans. Not the neighborhood potlucks here, although I'll take it just for shits and giggles because we don't have too many healthy eaters here in the neighborhood. I'm not going to pretend that's the only thing I had, though. I did get one of the artisan pizzas. They're about, I guess, as big as my face, whatever the size is for that. Wood-fired, so they have that charcoal-y kind of edge to them. And I got mine with crushed tomatoes, which are very sweet. So they kind of made a little bit of a sauce out of it. It wasn't just tomatoes. And their own mozzarella that they make, and bay leaves. Ugh. So I brought home half my salad, and I brought home 3/4 of my pizza, because obviously I'm not up to eating massive quantities at this point. But it was a lovely environment, and it was really pleasant because next door to the place that we went, it's in a strip mall, although it's a really nice place on the inside, like a bistro. It's in a strip mall, and next to it is a men's clothing department that my brother-in-law works at. Well, of course we were going to stop in and say hi to him after we ate, but he saw us coming across the parking lot to go in. We went in and sat down. We hadn't been there but a couple minutes. He came through the front door, took his break, and spent 15-20 minutes with us before we got our meal, so it was nice. And had a wonderful glass of 16 Mile craft beer, their pale ale, and it was very nice. So then we headed into Rehoboth, that's the town on the beach here, because later on this week I'm going to lunch with the ladies in a neighborhood for a monthly thing to a restaurant I've not been to before, and I only had a vague notion where it was. So we decided, well, let's use the excuse that I wanted to take like a dry run to make sure I could find it, because I'm driving some of the ladies there, and I didn't want to be wandering around lost at that point. And there's a car out front. I do believe my husband's coming back from his poker game, so I may be turning this off and then back on, because I put the dogs away so he can come in the front door. Hang on. So where was I? Roger has poker one night a week with the boys down at the community center, so that's where he's been. And of course, when he comes in, the front door is just there. All kinds of hubbub with the boys and the barking and the, yeah. So it's noisy for a bit. So he's back. So what was I saying? Oh, after we had our dinner, we went into Rehoboth to scope out the restaurant I'll be at with the girls. And found it with no problem, but it was an excuse to get onto the beach. It's going to be real warm as the week goes by, temperature-wise here, but today at least it wasn't. The last time I was on the beach, I about froze my nose off. Oh my, it was cold. So it was a chance to get on the beach. Not the empty, totally quiet beach that I prefer, but there weren't many people out there today, which was surprising considering how nice it was out. But I wanted to take the camera out and see what happens when I try to make something out of those videos. So we'll see. It was getting towards sundown, so the light wasn't the best, so we'll see what happens. In fact, I'm going to share them when I finish this vlog as just capturing of my day. And then what I am hoping is, when we actually found the restaurant, it's in a big hotel. So behind me, blocking the wind, was this very large building. One of the things I get asked a lot with Ask Annie is how come my audio is off so often in my videos? Because they don't have cameras that buffer the wind. And neither one of my cameras has been the kind you could get an external microphone for. So you don't hear anything but when the wind hits the microphone. So anyway, there I stood with this big building behind me blocking the wind, and I am so hoping that I could capture the sound of the ocean. For those of you who love the ocean and haven't been, or those of you who just like to listen to the ocean, I feel bad that I don't get the sound that goes with some of the videos that I take. So we did that. And a couple small tidbits. Behind me, there, I finally, sign I'm truly feeling better, scrubbed that gosh darn door. I go marching by Roger with a bottle of Windex and a scrub brush. And he saw me come out the door and head over this way. So I came back in, he says, "Were you out there cleaning that door? Because I was thinking about doing it." Neither one of us really likes to live like pigs, but boy, that was a mess back there. So that's done. And the other thing I wanted to put in here is a picture of Ernie in his crate. Because, without giving you yet another fanfare for the Ask Annie, I mentioned at some point about the dogs in their crates, or I showed pictures of the dogs in their crates, and someone was very upset that was viewing, respectfully so, about putting dogs in crates. Well, both of those dogs have been crate trained, and they love their crates, and they go in voluntarily. Bogey goes in his crate because he gets mad if you leave, and he will pee. So we never give him the opportunity to do that. He goes into his cage when we leave. Ernie feels safe in his cage. If he's loose when we're not here, he has extreme separation anxiety. So I wanted to add in here a picture of just a couple minutes ago. Right down here to the left of me is where Ernie's crate goes. And I wanted to put the picture in here so that person, who's still a viewer and who I really appreciate and enjoy, can see that he was looking for a place to cozy down tonight. I leave his crate door open all the time for him just in case. And that's indeed where he went. That's my boy in his cage. Okay, so next order of business will be the Ask Annie. And then hopefully, if it didn't work, then I'll put something else as the tiny moment. Hopefully, the ocean and the sound of the ocean. And now then, after this mighty fine day, and that comes from my dear sister, so I give it a chance to give you a shout out, hon. I love you. I'm so glad that we have become cyber friends for this time. Your question was, do we have a dog park here? No, we don't, but we have a dog-friendly neighborhood. When the season changes, when the summer birds migrate in and the winter birds migrate away, we also have the human migration of the summertime people who will be coming here. And they come with dogs. Almost everybody in this neighborhood has at least one dog. Dogs you will see on golf carts, dogs at the bay, dogs in the roads, dogs on everybody's front porch. You tend to know the names of the dogs as well as you know people's names and the names of their children and grandchildren. We have leash laws, so the dogs do have to be on leashes. But all of the dogs are very friendly and they get along and they've actually grown up together. Not so much Bogey. Bogey is very nervous around other animals. Never around Georgie and never around Ernie, but other animals. He doesn't go out for golf cart rides and get out and about with us. He also barks at everything he sees. If you have a min pin, you're going, I totally get that, Annie. So Bogey doesn't go on golf cart rides. Ernie loves them, though. And you've seen I do take Ernie for walks. I am not aware of any dog parks. But you would think in a tourist area, I may be wrong, some of the hotels might have them for guests that come with their dogs. But when you get off of the beach highway around here, it's mostly rural communities, and people have big yards, and it's farms, and there's plenty of places for the dogs to run. There is no metropolitan area or city area, or even a congested area. It's not that kind of space. It's country land here. So dog parks, there were dog parks where we used to live when we were up in a developed metropolitan area, but not down here. And the other half of your question was, would we ever bring another dog into our house? Neither Roger or I have ever not had a dog. I've always had multiple dogs because I like the energy of the pack, basically, and the way dogs are together, in addition to how they are with their humans. I've always had 2 or 3 dogs. And in fact, what I've almost always done is every 5 years I get a new dog, because that means one of my dogs is geriatric and needs attention and vet bills, one's middle-aged, and then I get a puppy. That's what I generally do. It happens to be that worked with Bogey and George, because Bogey was about 5 years younger than George, but Ernie's only a couple years younger than Bogey. Bogey's going to be 10 this year, and Ernie will be 8 late in the summer. So neither one of us have ever been without a dog. Can't imagine being without a dog, actually. But after having packed up the dogs when we traveled this fall to go visit my parents on the West Coast, we did think about the fact that there are times we would have liked to have gone away for a weekend or have taken a ride that would have been awkward to take the dogs with. Actually, it was very interesting and challenging to take them across country. Just having to stop every couple of hours and get them out of a hotel. I mean, at 5 o'clock in the morning in a hotel in the middle of someplace I don't know in the dark, I'm taking animals out. Not as easy to be as portable in our life that we might want to be. That said, we can't imagine not having a dog. Time will tell how we'll handle that. We've also had this interesting discussion that if we do get any more dogs down the road, probably it'll be an older dog, an unadoptable dog. For the first time ever, we had to stop and think if, 4 or 5 years from now, we're dogless, maybe Bogey's moved on and maybe Ernie too, we wouldn't want to get another puppy. or young dog, because in all honesty, what would happen to the dog if something happened to us? That is the first time in either one of our lives we've ever thought about what would happen if a dog outlived us. We would probably end up taking in older dogs at that later time in their life, the ones that just don't seem to survive in shelters because nobody wants them, and therefore they get euthanized. So that I can't imagine there wouldn't be a dog, no matter how much we think, oh, it'd be nice to be able to just pick up and go and not worry about the dogs. There's the answer to the dog questions. And I look forward to any other questions you have. Someone mentioned, oh, forgive me for forgetting right now who it was. Oh, I hate myself for that. I just saw the comment a few minutes ago, too, that you had 1,000,000 questions. I'm up for 1,000,000 questions. It could get interesting for me. So, on to the trip to the ocean. Hopefully I get some good shots. Hopefully my new program will work out right. Imagine me in the background stuttering, muttering, and cursing as I have to learn something new. Not really in the mood for it, but if it makes the videos work, then here's to it. And then hopefully at the end, the sound of the ocean. And if not, I'll find some pretty picture from today. It was a good one.